to talk about this for a while. Um, and it has to do with the whole idea of the Jedi and the Sith. And George Lucas is he's talked about that the Jedi represent Christianity and the Sith represent the seven deadly sins, the pleasures, given into sin. Yeah, and here this article from Bounded in Comics, George Lucas made it very clear. Yeah, George Lucas makes it abundantly clear that the Force is out of balance when one succumbs to the dark side. And it's easy to fall to the dark side. And the reason, like Yoda, when he said that those who fall to the dark side never can, they can't be redeemed because they've never seen somebody go to the dark side and then come back from the dark side. This is why Anakin, why Yoda and Obi-Wan, when Luke says, I can save my father, they don't believe it because they've never seen anybody turn away from the dark side. Even though there's evidence, like with Obi-Wan, he turned the dark side when he cut, because he let his anger take over, and he cut Darth Maul in half. And then he was able to actually pull himself back. But yeah. And so he's actually said this for a long time, that the Christianity is where the whole thing with the Jedi. The balance in the Force, resisting the sins, resisting pleasures, giving into your the sinful life. Numerous Star Wars fans have come under the impression that the Force is in balance when the light and the dark side are on equal footing. However, this is not how Star Wars creator George Lucas has explained a balance in the Force. Yeah, there is no real balance. That's the whole thing. This idea that the Force is in balance when the light side and the dark side are on equal footing likely comes from watching Star Wars, The Clone Wars, that David Filoni shitty animated series, and especially the Mortis trilogy episodes created by Dave Filoni. Yeah, he's shit on everything, doesn't know anything about Star Wars. In the show, the third season, episode 15, Overlords, a character named the Father states, a family in balance, the light and the dark, day with night, destruction replaced by creation. He adds, too much dark or light would be the undoing of life as you understand it. After Anakin completes a test taming the Father's children, he informs him, but this is yours. It has been foretold, the chosen one. You will remain to keep my children in balance. That, Dave Filoni didn't know shit. This idea about the balance would be reinforced in the subsequent episode, Altar of Mortis, when the sun appears to Anakin in a vision. He instructs how simple you make it, light and dark, as if there is one without the other. Aligned, you and I can restore balance wherever we go. Peace to the universe. After Anakin rejects his offer, the sun shouts in fury, we will destroy the Sith and the Jedi. This idea would be even further emphasized in the opening into the next episode, Ghosts of Mortis, where the narrator states Obi-Wan Kenobi, Anakin Skywalker, and his Padawan, this is what I hate about this, Ahsoka Tano, are caught in the middle of a treacherous battle between good and evil. The scales now tip towards the dark side. Our three warriors must guard against attacks as they plan their escape. However, George Lucas made it abundantly clear that balance in the Force is the suppression of the dark side. But back in 2010, Lucas discussed the Force during a writers' meeting for Star Wars: The Clone Wars. Yeah. He said, the core of the Force, you got the dark side and you got the light side. One is selfless, one is selfish, selfless, and one is selfish. And you want to keep them in balance. What happens when you go to the dark side is that goes out of balance. Then you get really selfish and you forget everybody. Yeah, kind of like what we're seeing. And then ultimately, you lead yourself because you get selfish. You get stuff, or you want stuff. And when you want stuff and you get stuff, then you get afraid somebody's going to take it away. Sounds like capitalists. From you, whether it's a person or a thing, or particularly pleasure, experience. Once you become afraid that someone's going to take it away from you, or you're going to lose, then you start to become angry, especially if you're losing it. And that anger leads to hate, and hate leads to suffering, mostly on the path of the person who is selfish because you spent all of your time being afraid of losing everything you've got instead of actually living, he explained. In contrast, he stated, where joy by giving to other people, you can't think about yourself, and therefore there is no pain. But the pleasure factor of greed and selfishness is a short-lived experience. Therefore, you're constantly trying to replenish it. But of course, the more you replenish it, the harder it is. It is to sort of. So you have to keep up in the ante. You're actually afraid of the pain of not having joy. So that is ultimately the core of the whole dark side, light and the force. Everything flows from that, he detailed. Lucas then elaborated, obviously the Sith are always unhappy because they never get enough of anything they want. Mostly, their selfishness centers around power and control, and the struggle to be always able to let go of all that stuff. Yeah. And that's the problem with Anakin. Ultimately, it is that you're allowed to love people, but you're not allowed to possess them. And what he did is that he fell in love and then married her, then became jealous, and that he saw in his vision that she was going to die, and he couldn't stand losing her. So in order to not lose her, he makes a pact with the devil to be able to become so powerful. But of course, when he did that, she didn't want to have anything to do with him anymore. So he lost her. He shared. Once you are powerful being, able to bring her back from the dead, well, if I can do that, I can be Emperor of the universe. I can get rid of the Emperor. I can do anything. I can make everything the way I want it. And once you do that, you'll never be satisfied, Lucas said. You're always going to be consumed by this driving desire to make more stuff and to be afraid that others are going to take it away from you. And of course, they are because every time you get two Sith together, they have the master and you have the apprentice. The apprentice is always trying to recruit another apprentice to join with him to kill the master. And the master knows that basically everybody below him wants his job, he added. Yeah, this is what you see with this is why the Order of Two came in. Lucas then asserted the only way to overcome the dark side is through discipline. The dark side is pleasure, biological, temporary, and easy to achieve. The light side is joy, everlasting and difficult to achieve, a great challenge. Must overcome laziness, give up pleasures, and overcome your fear which leads to hate, he concluded. While the Mortis trilogy in Star Wars The Clone Wars, fuck you Dave Filoni, definitely muddies the waters with how it portrays the balance of the Force as being an equal part dark side and light side. There are hints teasing Lucas' idea about it becoming out of balance because one succumbs to selfishness. In Ultra Mortis, the father instructs the son vanity, however, is getting the better of you. Vanity, however, is getting the better of you. You have done what is forbidden. You've chosen the dark side and allowed it to feed your anger and desire for power. The son retorts by bringing the chosen one here. You've shown me my potential. You've only yourself to blame. To which the father responds, do not do this, son. Do not become what you could not. You should not. Be strong, I implore you, or else I will be forced to contain you. So he tried to warn him. It's like, yeah. So essentially, yeah, Lucas is right. And then you have Gareth Edwards. He talked about this too. Gareth Edwards, Rogue One director Gareth Edwards, explains how he views the Force in Star Wars. You just saw, they talk about what George Lucas, Gareth Edwards does understand this. Speaking with the direct, Edwards informed the outlet, I see the Force as like a religion, obviously. And it's like, you might tell a child, have faith in God. It doesn't mean that they are the Messiah, he added. So, it's kind of, I see it like you can believe in this idea that there's something greater than us. There's a destiny of some sort, but you don't have to be the second coming of Christ to do something great with your life. Yeah. That's why Donnie Yen literally says, I am one, Star Wars creator George Lucas described the Force in a similar way in a 2015 interview with Charlie Rose. Yeah, I love George Lucas for how he explains everything. And we can look at what he said. He said the Force basically comes from distilling all of your religious beliefs, spiritual beliefs all around the world, all through time, finding the similarities and then creating an easy to deal with metaphor for what religion is. And the point is that, in the very beginning, when you have people worshiping rocks and deer, they call it life force. They call it the Force. That's what it is. And so, where did the name come from? It came from basically life force of what the more primitive religions believed in, he continued. Lucas elaborated, and then you go through all the other religions and they have the same thing. All the same thing. Whether you believe in God, don't believe in God, believe in a religion, don't believe in religion. The issue is that you either don't believe there's something else out there, which is a little, I think, hard to live with at the same time. Believing something's out there, I just don't know what it is. I have no idea or what I dare to guess, but I do know that religions are based on it. They're human psychological needs that have been put together mostly to create a society. Yeah, it's true. In the original Star Wars, Obi-Wan Kenobi describes the Force as such. The Force is what gives a Jedi his power. It's an energy field created by all living things. It surrounds us and penetrates us. It binds the galaxy together. He's right. In The Empire Strikes Back, Yoda informs Luke Skywalker, "For my ally is the Force, and a powerful ally it is. Life creates it, makes it grow. Its energy surrounds us, binds us, luminous, bringing beings are we, and not this crude matter. You must feel the Force around you. Here, between you and me, the tree, the rock, everywhere. Yes, even between the land and the ship." He's right. Not only did we get these definitions of the Force, but we also get the distinction between the dark side and the light side of the Force. Lucas explained the difference back in 2010 during a writer's room meeting for the Star Wars Clone Wars. The only way to overcome the dark side is through discipline. The dark side is pleasure, biological and temporary, and easy to achieve. The light side is joy, everlasting and difficult to achieve. A great challenge. Must overcome laziness, give up quick pleasures, and overcome fear, which leads to hate. This was also described by Yoda in The Empire Strikes Back. But beware of the dark side. Anger, fear, aggression. The dark side of the Force are they. Easily they flow, quick to join you in a fight. If once you start down the dark path, forever will it dominate your destiny. Consume you, it will, as it did Obi-Wan's apprentice. When Luke asked if the dark side is strong, Yoda responded, quicker, easier, more seductive. Yoda then instructs Luke on how he can determine the good from the bad. You will know when you are calm, at peace, passive. A Jedi uses the Force for knowledge and defense, never for attack. This is true. Yeah. So yeah, this is essentially something, yeah. So George Lucas is right about the Force. Yeah. So I just want to talk about this. I've been wanting to talk about it for a while. It's like the whole thing with basically the Jedi represent, like you could look at it like Christ when he in the last temptation of Christ. What was it? He was tempted by the sins, the pleasures, the 7 deadly sins, and he resisted all 7. That's why actually the Last Temptation of Christ is such a good movie, because it shows even, look at, anyone can be tempted by the dark side. That's why it's so easy to join the dark side. It's hard to get out of it. That's what I said about the sins. It's easy to fall into sin. It's hard to get out of it because you have to admit you've committed sin. That's why so many people don't realize they're sinners. And this is why Yoda says, it dominates you. They've never seen anybody overcome the dark side, overcome temptation, because nobody's ever had to. So that's why when Luke says he can redeem his father, he can save him, bring him back to the light, they don't think that can be possible because they've never seen it done. So that's why they don't think Luke can save his father. But Luke was right. His father was in conflict, and the light was always there. He was just lost in it. But he did get redeemed. So yeah, George Lucas is right. Gareth Edwards was right. And Luke did prove Yoda and Obi-Wan wrong by showing that his father was able to turn away from the dark side, turn away from pleasures. So yeah, this is Gilgamesh. I will talk to you later. Happy Thanksgiving. Have a great day. Bye.